Nothing useful here.
Hello, Miss Walker. Very happy to finally catch up with you.
Mr. Canton, what on earth do you want?
To take you back home, whether you like it or not. Come on, give me your hands, please.
Mr. Canton, I don't know how much the people who hired you promised for delivering me to them. But if it's only a question of money, maybe...
Stop right there, Miss Walker. You're being a tad insulting. Listen, my professional integrity has never been in doubt in over 20 years of work. Come on, wrists out. Mr. Marson? Finally, I have her. Yes, she is safe and sound. I have Miss Walker under control. I'll keep you informed of our progress. It'll take a day or two at most. I suppose there are a few procedural obstacles to overcome before we can leave the country.
Listen, all these things I'm accused of are completely untrue. Hans's murder, embezzlement, it's nonsense. And while we're wasting time here, I can't help the Youkoles. And believe me, they really need it.
I am not your enemy, Miss Walker. If you haven't done anything like you say, it's in your interest to go back and defend yourself in court. There's nothing left for you to do here anyway. Not everyone here is your friend in these parts, I'm afraid.
Well, all right, Mr. Canton. You win.
I'm glad you're finally being reasonable, Miss Walker. Now we just need to wait for the representative of the regional military authorities for the administrative procedures. I don't think it'll take long to get our papers, so we can leave this place then.
How long do we have to wait? I've been through a lot over the last few months, you know. I'm recuperating. I'm still a bit weak.
Well, it could take a few hours at the outside.
Would you mind bringing me a glass of water? I don't feel too well. I feel a bit dizzy.
I'd have to leave you here in the meantime. I'm not sure that...
Please, Mr. Canton. I really think I'm going to faint.
Don't worry, Miss Walker. I'll see what I can do. But don't move.
Quick! I have to get free and get out of here while Canton is busy. It didn't break. God, I need to find something else. It didn't break. God, I need to find something else. Useless. Unless I want to fracture Canton's skull with my hands behind my back, this does me no good. Free at last. All right, let's get out of here before Canton comes back.
Miss Walker! No, wait! I have an arrest warrant for this woman. Arrest her! Oh! My pass! Give it back to me! Immediately, you hear?
You almost fell right in the water. Have you ever thought about moderating your consumption of vodka, sir?
R-E-N-O.
Pardon?
It's me, Captain Obo. Obo! Proud commander of the just as proud Crystal. So don't you, sir, me.
Well, delighted. Captain, I'm Kate Walker. I'm looking for Steiner's, the clockmaker.
If I fall in the water, sailor, it'll be to go straight to hell. So don't fall in the water, sailor. You understand? Bastard's waiting for me.
Who are you talking about?
The monster of the lake is waiting for us all, miss. Everyone's time comes eventually. To finish the work. Come on, back in the fight. Because you can never lower your guard. Never.
Poor Captain. Even though his superstitions terrify him, he's obviously dreaming of a second chance. Hello? Anyone here?
Looking for cigars or some hooch? I'm even cheaper than the nomads.
I don't have any coins. Too bad.
Someone stole 3 chickens last night.
Ah, miss, delighted to see that you finally managed to leave the Youkole camp.
Yes, thank you very much for the pass.
Well, now that you're at last here, you'll be able to taste my famous borscht.
It would be my pleasure, but I do have to find Steiner the clockmaker right away.
Simon Steiner? Ah, in that case, you should speak with Sarah, our young waitress. She's his granddaughter.
Is Simon Steiner well known here in Valsembor?
For a long time, he was rather popular. You know, he isn't just a clockmaker. He knows everything about mechanical objects. He repaired everything for everybody here in Valsembor. He also designed the amusement park on the other side of the lake with a colleague of his, a French automaton creator, if I remember right. You could say Valsembor owes a lot to Simon Steiner, miss. So when he got sick, I offered to hire Sarah to help a little. You understand?
I met that man recently. A certain Captain Obo. He doesn't seem very with it.
And he's been that way for 20 years, miss. 20 years. Can you imagine? He used to command the Crystal, the boat that made the crossing between here and the amusement park, on the other side of the lake. And he wasn't the same man then.
How are things in town? They don't seem to be going that well.
If you ask me, The atmosphere is horrible. At least half the people don't want the Youkoles right at our door. Most of the shopkeepers even made the decision to go on strike over what they saw as unfair competition. Also, Valsembor hasn't been the same in the last 20 years. There it is.
I'm off. Thank you again for your help.
See you soon, miss.
Excuse me, please, miss.
Yes?
I'm looking for Simon Steiners.
Simon Steiner is my grandfather. My name is Sarah. Sarah Steiner.
Pleased to meet you, Sarah. I'm Kate Walker. Can you tell me where I can find your grandfather's workshop?
Of course. You'll find his shop is at the end of the alleyway, on the left, just as you leave it, in the main avenue. Can I ask what you want with him? Because he's rather old, you know.
I'm accompanying the Youkole caravan. Apparently your grandfather is supposed to be making a mechanical prosthesis for Kirk, their spiritual chief, who had a bad accident recently. Without the artificial leg, Kirk won't be able to go along with the great migration of his people. And on top of that, the Youkoles won't leave without their guide.
You're accompanying the Youkoles? My God, you're so terribly lucky. When I was little, Grandfather used to tell me all about their adventures, full of mystery and magic.
I guess you're pretty close to your grandfather?
Yes. Of course he can get a bit grumpy, especially the last few years. But he's actually really adorable, and you should see the work he does. Give him a few cogs and springs, and he'll give you some unbelievably incredible invention. He almost makes mechanical objects seem alive.
I see exactly what you mean. I used to know someone like that too.
The only problem we have is that business collapsed when he got sick. I really do believe that if I didn't have the waitressing jobs to make ends meet, we'd probably have to close up shop.
Do you like life in Valsembor?
Oh, there's really not that much to talk about here, you know. I spend all my time here or with Grandfather since he got sick.
There was no one who could keep an eye on him for you?
We can't afford it, I'm afraid. I also think I prefer it this way. My grandfather is my only family.
You seem to like the Youkole, Sarah. I get the impression that's rare in Valsembor.
It's true that when it comes to the Youkoles, people around here can be a bit silly. They go out of their way to make the nomads scapegoats for all of the town's problems since they got stuck here.
But you don't, do you?
Of course not. Grandfather told me that he has actually seen 3 or 4 of the great ostrich migrations in his lifetime, and he always really respected those strange people. He even made sure I would admire them too, you know.
Thank you for your help.
I'll be stopping in to see Grandfather on my next break. Maybe I'll see you there.
Yes, I hope so. Goodbye, Sarah. Steiner. Hello. Are you Mr. Steiner? I'm sorry to bother you, Mr. Steiner. My name is Kate Walker, and I've come to pick up the prosthesis for Kirk, the Youkole spiritual guide.
And well, dear Miss Walker, Dr. Efimova has informed me that the young man was not yet in any sort of condition to withstand the operation, and that...
Mr. Steiner, are you all right?
It is impossible. That pendant you have around your neck. I would be very obliged if you would entrust me with it for a moment. Please, Miss Walker. Mein Gott! An XZ-2000 automaton heart in perfect working condition. A compensating spring memory. Pendulum ventricles and small mechanical pumps. Everything seems in excellent condition. Donnerwetter! Where on earth did you steal this, Miss Walker?
What? Are you calling me a thief, Mr. Steiner? I haven't stolen anything from anyone. This is all I have left of my friend Oscar. Give it back to me right now.
Ah, so. And yet I am actually very familiar with this type of precision mechanism. An infernal precision. Incredible, unique expertise. For this was a Vorarlberg automaton, Miss Walker.
Yes. It was Hans Vorarlberg who designed this object. Tell me, did you know him?
Oh, yeah. He even lived here a few years. We did a lot of work together. He taught me so many different things, you know. So it is useless to try and make up silly stories, Miss Walker. And I am afraid that I am not about to allow you to leave here as long as you have not told me the truth about where this object comes from.
Mr. Steiner, Oscar was a very special automaton. He inspired almost human emotions. But today he doesn't exist. He isn't dead, of course. Because what has never lived cannot die. Oscar was just dismantled. It had to be like that. All that I have left of him is that heart, a heart made of metal.
It's far more than just a heart, miss. It's far more like a kind of mechanical hard drive. A computer that is full of cogs, gears, and springs, but...
Mr. Steiner, are you all right?
My heart... need... my medication. Quickly!
Just don't move. I'll go and get your medication right away.
Make yourself right at home. Don't mind me. I just own the place.
Kirk's prosthesis, but it looks like it isn't finished. A woman's writing saying, "Grandfather, don't forget to take your medication 3 hours before dinner."